If you've been shopping in Kelowna lately, you've probably had this thought. Should I just look in West Kelowna instead? Because on paper, West Kelowna often looks cheaper. But is it actually a better value? Or are you just trading price for something else? Today, we're going to look at what under $300,000 buys you on both sides of the bridge and break it down head to head. Same budget, two cities, different trade-offs. And we'll also break down what the monthly mortgage cost could look like at this price. And by the end of the video, you'll have a much clearer idea which one actually makes more sense for you. Before we even look at individual homes, let's zoom out. On the screen right now, you'll see a side-by-side map showing us how many listings are available under 300K in Kelowna and West Kelowna. Right away, you can see where the concentration of listings is. More dots in an area means more options, and more options usually means more negotiating power. Fewer dots can mean tighter competition and fewer listings. And this already tells you something important about supply at this price point. And there are probably more homes available than most people realize under $300,000. Now, let's zoom in on some listings. Let's start in Kelowna. Here's our first property that's listed under 300,000. So the first property that we're going to look at is in Rutland. It's listed for $282,000 and it's a 700 square foot, one bedroom, one bathroom condo built in 2006. If we look at the map, this one is right on Rutland Road North, centrally located in that section of the city close to shopping, parks, right across the street from the high school and the middle school. And this is actually a well taken care of building. I've had clients buy in this one before, but let's have a quick look at the gallery. So this is a 4-story building. This unit is on the second floor. They always show us the outside first. Here we've got a kitchen. So it's a U-shaped kitchen, nice cabinets, builder grade appliances, but they look to be in good shape. Lots of counter space, and it looks like they've upgraded the floors to something like a laminate or a vinyl plank. That's a lot easier to clean. This one has the open kind of area where the living room, dining room, and kitchen are all kind of in the same space. This one's nice. It's got the in-suite laundry there and a door out to the patio. So you do have a small outside space and it has an in-wall air conditioning unit. They've virtually staged it so you can see kind of what the inside would look like with some furniture. It does have that builder grayish color on the walls, but in a 700 square foot space, that would be pretty easy to change out. Again, virtually staged there. A view from the kitchen into the living room and the bedroom. And you've got the one bathroom there, which looks to be your 4-piece tub shower, everything that you could need in a unit this size. Good storage space in the bedroom, and then there's another view of the entire unit, and then a view from your patio out to Rutland Road. You can see the high school, middle school is right there. And it comes with an underground parking space. At this price point in Kelowna, you're typically looking at a smaller one-bedroom condo, but sometimes you'll get 2 bedrooms, and often they can be in an older building, or at least not brand new, and they're usually closer to the city core, but not quite downtown. The second unit we're going to look at is in Kelowna. It's listed for $299,000. This is actually a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom, just under 700 square foot unit, which was built in 1979. We look at the map, it's just off of Harvey between Richter and Pandosy, so fairly centrally located. You can get to downtown closely or the highway if you need to get out throughout town. And let's take a look at the gallery. So we've got a shot of the outside of the building. The view, I don't think that this is from this unit, but it kind of shows you the proximity to the lake and to a park. There's also a dog park or a dog run just outside, kind of steps away, so that's good if you have pets. Taking a look at the unit, it looks like even though it was built in 79, it's had some upgrades. It's been painted, has some laminate, maybe hardwood vinyl flooring. I did look at this unit in a previous video. This space just off of your entryway is actually considered a storage room, but it looks like it could double as an office if you wanted to work from home and you needed that extra space. You've got a walk-through kitchen, which gives you the feel that you've got a little bit more room. And the kitchen's a little bit separated from your living room, giving you a little bit of privacy or, separating those two spaces if that's something that you would like to do. Easy to clean floors throughout, a little bit of outdoor space, again, a wall AC unit, dining space if you want to put the table there. And then you have there, I said to mention the walk-through kitchen. This is one of the bedrooms. It does have baseboard heaters, but that's fairly common in Kelowna in buildings of this age. So you've got electric heat, which you can control on your own. One of the bedrooms with a closet. This is your bathroom. It looks like it's been upgraded over time with newer tiles, countertops. And this is your second bedroom. So it has, instead of carpet, a hardwood floor or vinyl floor. And that's more the view from your patio. So you've got some outdoor space close to the park, the dog park, and it's covered. So you could spend some time out there either in the summer getting some shade or even, if it's raining in the winter, something like that. And then here is the floor plan. So like I mentioned, you've got this storage area, which could double as a home office if you wanted to use it for that. And you've got 2 bedrooms and 1 bathroom. So under 300,000 in Kelowna can mean more compact living when you're in a more centralized location, or a little more room if you're looking in Rutland or outside the downtown core. Now let's cross the bridge. Here's what under 300,000 gets you in West Kelowna. The first unit that we're going to look at in West Kelowna is on Carrington Road. This one's listed for $284,000. It's a 1-bedroom, 1-bath, 561 square foot home, but it's right next to Two Eagles Golf Course. So you're not in that urban area. You've got a little bit of outdoor space, walking paths, and you might like that feel of not being directly in the city. But let's take a look at the gallery and see what we're working with. So there you can see the building. This is the inside of the unit, so again, easy to clean floors, that common U-shaped kitchen, which looks like it has an eat-up bar to save you some space, or you could put your dining room table here. This one has an outdoor space as well. There's the door to your outside patio. Again, common with these types of buildings, you've got your living room, dining room, kitchen all in the same space. This one has a fireplace and an outdoor patio. So it is on the ground floor, but you've got that outdoor space right next to some green space, and you can see the driving range in the distance there, but I believe this one has a view of the parking lot. And we'll get through these photos. So there's your kitchen, stainless steel appliances. There's your bedroom, which has I don't think that's a door out to the patio. If I had to guess, I bet you that's where the furnace is. But a nice unit, a good sized unit, more modern than, say, maybe the thing that we looked at in Kelowna, which was built in 1979. And it also has in-suite laundry. And there's a few photos of the inside. The second unit that I want to look at in West Kelowna is a little bit of a different option. This is actually a townhouse, a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom townhouse. It is on the smaller side at 442 square feet, listed at $299,000, but this is a nice alternative if you don't want condo living. If you don't want to live in a building with a bunch of floors, bunch of other people, a bunch of shared walls and shared ceilings, you do have the option in West Kelowna to get into a townhome. Let's take a look at the photos for this one. So even though it's on the smaller side, you've got an eat-up bar of the kitchen and a good-sized living room for a sectional-sized couch. This is the bedroom with a sliding door out to your outside patio. There is your main entrance. So I guess these photos are actually virtually staged because the living room from the first one changes into the second one, but it does show you what options you have for setup in the unit. This one shows us it has that little outdoor courtyard sitting area. Number 205. So there is the unit without any furniture in it, so you can get a good idea what the space looks like. So again, it's a good sized unit. Townhome, so you have that outdoor space directly in. You don't have to go through a building to get into your unit. So if you don't want to be in a condo, you do have the option of, getting into something like this. At this price point in West Kelowna, you might see similar size options as you would in Kelowna, but sometimes it's a newer building or a slightly different fee structure, or could be something that we haven't quite covered yet, which are mobile homes. These are definitely an option under $300,000 in West Kelowna, so let's take a look at one of those next. So the last unit we'll look at in West Kelowna is a mobile home. You do have the option, and West Kelowna has a number of mobile home parks where there are quite a few units listed under $300,000. So if you don't want that townhouse, you don't want condo living, this is an alternative. This one is on Boucherie Road. It's 1,500 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and it's listed at only $249,000. So if this is your budget and you've got a bigger family or roommates, this is definitely a good alternative to condo living where you would probably only get 1 to 2 bedrooms. This one was built in 1994, and let's take a look at the gallery. So you can see it's probably a double wide mobile home originally. Nice patio covered out in the front, and you've got parking for at least 2 or 3 cars. The inside appears to have a separation between your living room and your kitchen. That's your main entrance there. This would be one of the bedrooms, but it looks like it's wide open to the dining room. Nice floors, good paint, lots of light. Oh, that's how it is. So they've got it separated with some French doors into that bedroom. There you've got space for a dining room next to your kitchen. Nice wood cabinets, stainless steel appliances, and a dishwasher. Lots of storage, and it has laundry within the unit, which is key if you're living there with roommates or you've got a small family. And there is one of our bathrooms. It looks like it has a separate tub and shower. And good sized bedrooms, and here's your second bathroom. So really a good space if you don't want that condo living at this price point, you want a little bit more room. You've got a wraparound deck giving you that outdoor space. Looks like a paved patio in the back and a yard space. If you have pets or dogs or kids that want to run around, this is a great alternative to condo or townhome living. Under $300,000 in West Kelowna can offer a bit more breathing room in some cases than Kelowna, and gives you more options than just condos. You can also probably get a townhome or a mobile home. But you're further from the Kelowna core and dealing with that bridge commute every day. Now, before we get into the monthly numbers and look at what a mortgage payment might look like at this price point, I want to slow down just for a minute. Because at this price point, there are a couple things that can completely change whether something is actually a good deal or just looks like one on paper. And most buyers don't notice them until it's too late. The first one shows up more often in West Kelowna than it would in Kelowna. You'll be scrolling listings and you'll see something under 300,000 that looks incredible. You know, bigger square footage, maybe nicer finishes in a newer building, and maybe even a view. And the natural reaction is, why does this seem cheaper? And the first thing that you need to check is actually the land status. Some properties in West Kelowna are on First Nations leasehold land. And now that doesn't automatically mean it's a bad deal, but it does make it different. Financing rules can be more restrictive, your resale pool down the road can be smaller, and long-term equity doesn't behave the same way that it does with full ownership or on a freehold property, which is what you'd typically find in Kelowna. So before assuming you've found a hidden bargain or a great deal, make sure you understand what you're actually buying. The second thing applies on both sides of the bridge, and this is where a lot of people can quietly get caught. Don't just look at the purchase price. You have to look at the strata fees. A $299,000 condo with a $500 monthly strata fee can actually cost more per month than a $325,000 condo with a $200 monthly fee. Or if you're looking at a mobile home in a park instead of a condo, you'll have pad rental fees instead of strata fees, and they also differ park to park. So either way, that difference in fees adds up every single year. And in some older buildings, you will see lower strata fees, which sounds great. But if the maintenance has been deferred and not taken care of, those low fees today can turn into big special assessments later if major repairs are needed on the building and there isn't enough money in the contingency fund. Or in some newer buildings, you might get things like pools, gyms, recreation activities, and other resort style amenities. And those are really nice to have, but they also raise your monthly cost. So when you're comparing these options, don't just compare the sticker price, the selling price. Compare the total ownership cost, because this is where a place that looks cheaper at first can quietly become more expensive. Next, let's look at how much a mortgage payment would be on properties like these. Let's take a look at what the mortgage payments would be on something like this. This calculator is courtesy of our friends at Flow Mortgage Co., and I'll leave a link to their website down in the description if you want to do some calculations yourself. So let's just take the high end of this budget or of this price point and take a purchase price of $300,000 with the minimum down payment of 5%, which is only $15,000. And if you're a first-time buyer, there are some exemptions for that, which you should look into. If we take a 4.25% rate, which is not the lowest rate available right now, but not the highest, it's kind of in the middle there, and it can vary depending on your approval. But if we take a 25-year amortization with the minimum down payment, you're looking at a monthly payment of only $1,538 a month. And if you broke that down bi-weekly, you'd be looking at $710 every 2 weeks. Now, we stretch this amortization out to 30 years, it actually drops your payment down below $1,400 with that minimum down payment. If we go back to that 25 years, and let's just say you have 10% down instead, you've saved $30,000. On a 25-year amortization, that puts your payment at around $1,457. If you go out over 30 years, you drop down to $1,300 a month. And let's just do one more tweak here. We'll go back to 25 years. We'll go to the minimum down payment. And let's just, 6%, let's go to the minimum down payment. And let's just say you didn't spend up to that budget and you go to a $270,000 selling price, which gets you $13,500 as the minimum down payment, and your payment goes down to under $1,400 a month. Now, keep in mind, you do have to factor in property taxes, which varies from unit to unit, and your strata fees or pad rental fees if you're living in a mobile home park. But overall, the payments are probably a little bit less here than you might have thought they were. But let me know down in the comments what you think of this payment structure. Are they more than you thought or less? So which should you choose, Kelowna or West Kelowna? If being closer to downtown, restaurants, having a shorter commute time matters the most to you, Kelowna may make sense even at this entry-level price point. But if you're looking for, a slightly quieter feel and potentially a bit more value per dollar, West Kelowna might be worth considering. But neither is automatically better. It depends on, where you work, where you spend your time, and what trade-offs you're most comfortable with. So if you had under $300,000 to spend, which would you choose? Let me know down in the comments. And if you want help looking at what's currently available right now and figuring out what makes the most sense for you, reach out to me at this number or at the link down below, and we'll figure something out for you. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.